While flying the plane, the captain suddenly noticed something terrifying.
Birds. Whoa.
A sudden bird strike knocked out both engines, setting them on fire. The captain instantly hit the engine restart switch, but there was no response. Then the cabin lights went out, plunging all the passengers into darkness. The captain realized what was happening and immediately activated the auxiliary power unit, bringing power back to the cabin. Flight attendants began calming the frightened passengers. First, everyone thought it was just turbulence, but inside the cockpit, every second was a battle to survive. The captain radioed air traffic control for help, requesting permission to land at the nearest airport. But during those short few seconds of communication, the plane had already dropped to dangerously low altitude. Veteran pilot Captain Sullenberger realized there was no way to turn back. The only chance of survival was an emergency water landing. The radar lost track of the aircraft. Air traffic control fell into panic because the survival rate of a water landing had historically been nearly zero. At this point, the plane was less than 50 meters from the water. Sully adjusted the angle for final descent. From here on, it was all in the hands of fate. Thanks to his expert control, the aircraft safely ditched in the Hudson River. It was a miracle like no other. Passengers looked around in shock, still trying to process what just happened. But the danger wasn't over. Cold river water started flooding the cabin. Sully instructed everyone to unbuckle and put on life vests, then opened the emergency exit doors. Passengers evacuated in an orderly line. Rescue teams quickly arrived on scene. The survivors, soaking wet but alive, had no complaints, only gratitude. But Sully couldn't smile, not until he had a confirmed list of survivors. The scene was chaos. There was no way to do a proper headcount, so Sully was taken to the hospital for a checkup. That's when the Union rep brought good news. Everyone had survived. Sully had saved 155 families. It was the first successful water landing in US history, and Sully became an instant media hero. The National Transportation Safety Board invited him to a hearing. Sully thought it was just a formality, but instead felt like a trial. The board launched multiple investigation teams and presumed he made the wrong call. They only trusted cold, computer-generated data. Before the next hearing, they planned to simulate the engine failure and altitude to prove that water landing had been the wrong decision. A man who saved 155 lives now found himself being grilled by so-called experts. At the second hearing, they presented simulation results. According to the data, the plane could have safely returned. All 20 simulated landings were successful. Hearing that, Sully lowered his head. Had he made the wrong call after all? Had he chosen the more dangerous route? A few days later, Sully would face the final hearing. If water landing was ruled a mistake, he'd go from hero to criminal who endangered passengers. The same media that once praised him might turn on him in an instant.